You are live. It says. It says I'm live. Let's find out. I'm still getting used to all this stuff. What can you say? This is Sam Disraeli coming to you live from your tech department headquarters. I'm just adjusting. Apparently, we're having an issue with going public. So I just want to double check this. That we're, yep, no, it worked that time. I had a minor epiphany and I wanted to share it with you. I've been talking with a friend of mine all weekend. We've been friends for 10, 12 years. He's a brilliant attorney. And I'm just checking that you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Good. Works. Perfect. So this brilliant attorney of mine, who we share tech tips all the time, he calls me up the other day and he says, I'm having problems with spam. And I say, okay, you're not officially a client of mine. I've been trying to bring you over for years to be a client of mine. You balk at phone systems because you're administering your own phone system. You are hosting email not with Google, not with Microsoft, but off of some hosting website. How much are you paying for your hosting? And he says to me, I'm paying something ridiculous, like he said he was paying $40 a year or something ridiculous like that. Even if it was $100 a year, it was still ridiculous to run a law firm off of. And I said, our tools alone in the email category alone cost us somewhere between $20 and $35 or more. Okay. Email hosting, professional email hosting from Microsoft costs $6 to $7 a month just for the email hosting. Then you step up from there to get the apps, which are $12, $13, $14 a month. And if you actually want to run a virtual cloud-based domain, you need Microsoft Apps Premium, which are upwards of $20 a month per user. And then you want your spam protections, which are somewhere on the order of $8, $9, $10 a month per user to have cybersecurity protections layered over on top of the Microsoft. Plus, you also want to use backups. So again, like I said, $25, $30, $35, depending on what level. And that's just basic levels of protection pertaining to your email. So I'm like, that's going to be $100 a month per user. And like I said, once or twice a year, we get into these conversations about why cybersecurity is important. And I'm writing him these emails, and I write them all the time. And I say, the reason spam protections are important are because you have staff members working for you. And these staff members are regular people that aren't trained in monitoring cybersecurity, that, aren't vigilant 24/7, like the tools that can be applied to warn you when something has a link in it or a malicious attachment in it or anything like that. And I'm trying to explain, you're running a law firm, which means you probably have bank accounts that are escrow accounts that you're holding money on behalf of your clients. What happens when you also happen to have personal bank accounts that are probably filed through because this law firm is, a family law firm. So there's every attorney has been there for years. So they're probably using personal stuff. Um, so I said, there's escrow accounts, there's personal information. You're dealing with corporate corporate lawsuits that are dealing with millions of dollars. If an opponent wanted to try to hack your email or get a look at the evidence that you're collecting in a corporate lawsuit, they could very easily try to do this. This is why, what are your liabilities? What's your downside? It's not just a question of, oh, well, I can run my office off of $100 a year instead of $100 a month or $200 a month. And I saw a video this weekend that I think, like I said, I had an epiphany. And I saw this video where a comedian named Jimmy Carr, who, whether you think he's funny or not, whether you think he's offensive or not, once in a while he sits down for a podcast. And when he's not on stage, he can be brilliant and insightful about life and reality and things like that. And he literally had a quote in this podcast that I saw this weekend that was, I'm going to play it for you, but he compares his life and how he approaches comedy versus some of the guys that he sees on stage, on Friday nights and Saturday nights in New York City at comedy clubs. And he talks about, people who are fully committed to what they're doing versus, like he is, I should say, versus people who, are 50% comedy and 50% actor or 50% writer or novelist or any of these other things. Now, I'm going to play the video. Actually, I decided I'm going to play it for you twice. This is what he says originally. Okay.
I'm not sure I approve of portfolio sort of working. The idea of having lots of different things that you do, because really, you're going to do comedy part-time? What, you're going to do half comedy and half novel writing? Oh, so you're going to compete? I'm doing it 100% of the time, and you think you can compete 50% of the time? All the best. Let's see how you do.
That face is just the best part. But the epiphany for me was, I looked back on this quote that he says. Now, I want you to listen to the quote again. It's 20 seconds. But instead of comedy, I want you to hear in your head as if he were talking to you like a hacker. Because these hacker boiler rooms are working 24/7 trying to get your information and your money. So when he says, I'm going to do comedy, I want you to hear in your head, I'm a hacker. Okay. I'm going to be hacking away at your infrastructure 100% of the time, and think about who you are as a business owner, thinking you're protecting your equipment properly by only dedicating 10% or 20% or 50% of your time towards those cyber securities. Okay. Hear him, instead of say comedy, hear him in your head say hacker.
I'm not sure I approve of portfolio sort of working. The idea of having lots of different things that you do, because really, you're going to do comedy part-time?
You're going to do protection?
Half comedy and half novel writing. Oh, so you're going to compete? I'm doing it 100% of the time.
I'm a hacker 100% of the time. And you're protecting yourself not 100% of the time. All the best, he says. And I think that's what it is. I've been an evangelist for cybersecurity. I've been in technical consulting now for 20 years, more. But we've specialized a lot in cybersecurity for the last 7-8 years, almost exclusively We used to say anything that plugs into a wall, and we used to talk about access control, and we used to talk about video cameras. We decided if we needed to protect our clients from cybersecurity, we needed to push those things off to the side, create strong partnerships in those areas. But you don't want a cybersecurity guy that's not doing 100% on cybersecurity. If you want cameras, we're going to put you with the right, we're going to project manage, and we're going to put you with the right company that's going to do cameras, that's going to do access control. But if you're an attorney, if you're a CPA, if you're running a nonprofit, those are the things that you should be doing 100% of the time. And if you think you can do a little bit of research, 10% research, 20% research on what you think it takes to keep your company safe against a hacker that's doing it 100% of their time, like Jimmy says, best of luck. That's why I'm out there advocating. That's why we're all out there advocating, whether it's me or our other partners and friends in the cybersecurity industry, whether it's Fairfield County, whether it's Connecticut, whether it's the tri-state area, whether it's all across the country, or whether it's across the world. That's why your cybersecurity experts are shouting into the darkness to try to get you to understand that the hackers are out there and they're gonna come. This isn't fear, uncertainty, and doubt. This is education. And we just, once a quarter, if not more, somebody walks into our doors and says, we just got hacked. And and so many of them, a $10 a month email scanner would have saved you from almost sending $47,000 because your employee would never have seen the email. That's an ounce of prevention is so much better than pounds and tons of cure. And so many of these things are preventable. MFA, a good corporate email scanner, a little bit of zero trust, and a little bit of extra log monitoring. These are all things that are affordable and easy to implement. Anyway, that's enough for me, since obviously people are calling. Be safe out there. And when a friend comes to you and says, hey, can we at least get you a couple of basic tools? Think about it. And think about, unfortunately, the last thing I said to him was, IT isn't a luxury anymore, and it's not even a vendor anymore. IT services and cybersecurity services should no longer be in a line item in your P&L next to professional services. They should be a line item right next to insurance. Do you penny pinch and we all shop for better insurance plans. Granted, absolutely true. But do we think we can get by doing things on our own, like insurance, like we have been trying to say we can get by on our own for IT stuff? And I've dealt with companies that have been business 10, 15, 20 years that got by just fine. The problem is that things have changed and it doesn't cut it anymore. Not if you have a marketing list with 500 people on it. Not if you have a client list with 500 people on it. Not when you have names, addresses, telephone numbers, potential birthdays, potential social security numbers, credit cards. This is all personally identifiable information that the hackers want because they can turn it into money. So, like I said, don't skip out on the basic things that can help stop 90% of the hacks. You don't have to sign up for fully managed plans if you don't see the value. But if you don't see the value in a corporate email scanner that won't let 99% of those bad emails through, so that you can then train your client, your workforce, to focus on how those really bad ones might, you know, be thoughtful. If your client, if your staff are getting deluged with them 10, 15 every day, one of them's going to get slipped through. It's impossible to think critically in that cacophony of noise. Anyway, that's enough for me. Thanks so much, Jonathan. I saw your comment. If you have comments, post them here. Reach out to us as always. Your tech department, yourtech.co, support@yourtech.co, or call the office 203-883-0000. Have a great day. Keep an eye on your data and your cyber. Have a great day.